Priced at 330,000 ringgit, that's a lot of money to ask for, but I will feel that the previous generation felt a little bit more luxurious. One thing that bugs me is that Century's sprint time is... Toyota has GR, Mercedes has AMG, BMW has M, and Mini, this cutesy British brand, has JCW, short for John Cooper Works, with a proven heritage of tuning minis to go racing. And today you can experience the JCW in 3 different flavors in ascending order of intensity: JCW Aero Kit, JCW Tuning Kit, and this full-fat JCW model which I have with me right now. Priced at 330,000 ringgit, that's a lot of money to ask for a 2-litre turbo 4-cylinder front-wheel drive automatic 3-door Mini. But I would say it's totally worth it. My name's Adrian, I'm all about the details, and you're watching cDrive. In the F66 generation of the JCW, you can see that there are a lot more openings over to the front grille to force more air into the radiator for better cooling. However, this would also mean that there's potentially more stones, more risk to pierce through your radiator like this. However, there are already aftermarket remedies for this. Underneath the skin, the F66 generation of the Mini 3-door retains the same UKL1 platform, albeit tweaked for better refinement. Wheelbase remains the same at 2,495mm. Fun fact, this is the same wheelbase as a 992 generation Porsche 911 to maintain that nippy go-kart-like handling. Refinements they've made to this Mini is 14mm wider track, as well as 10mm wider tyre profiles, all to add grip as well as sharper turn-in. Why? Because this new generation of the Mini JCW is now 67 kilograms heavier than before. So the added grip as well as sharper turn-in helps to negate that and retain the agility that Minis are loved for. And this Mini has keyless entry in the truest sense. You just have the keys in your pocket, approach the car, and the doors automatically unlock, so you can conveniently open the doors for your passenger princess. Around the rear, the centrally mounted exhaust actually is not a single outlet. There's actually another exit underneath the muffler hidden away. Now, Mini claims that this one actually is better for airflow, sound, as well as the entire performance. Now, I personally dig this look because it gives me that kind of a Type R Tomei titanium exhaust vibes in JDM cars. Yeah, quite cool. Boot space opens up to 210 litres, but that is if you have the false boot floor in its lowest position, and that allows you to squeeze in a check-in size luggage with some room to spare for your backpacks. We'll try. Yeah, no. But once you fold the rear seats down, plenty of space, enough for 2 people on a long road trip. Stepping inside, you are greeted with Mini's latest generation of cabin design language that blends tech with sustainable use of materials. And definitely you feel that you're in something quite special and fashionable, especially when you see this use of cloth material over on the upper dashboard, the plastic trims here with the patterns and cutouts. Yeah, but I will feel that the previous generation felt a little bit more luxurious. That's because the use and choice of materials felt a bit more expensive than the ones in here. In here, you will notice some ready-to-race elements such as the checker flag pattern over on the passenger side dashboard, as well as the lower section here on the 2-spoke. Well, this is the 3rd spoke on the steering wheel. Here, this is actually a tensioned rubber strap, which I think is quite cool. And these seats with the checker flag pattern over here. Now, these seats actually, I would say it's a whole lot more comfortable compared to the previous generation Mini. Even though it offers good support, the back here actually has very soft leather, so you feel a lot more plush and your body does not ache or be too hard as you're seated here and ready to, go racing. Malaysian spec JCW has some options ticked from the factory, such as this panoramic sunroof, which is a split with the front and rear for the sunshade cover, and this wireless charging tray here, which straps your phone in place. Pretty cool when you're doing launch controls, your phone doesn't fling around. If you're a previous F56 owner, you will find that this panel right here is a touch confusing to use. That's because in the previous generation Mini, the pulsating start-stop button actually is the gear lever right here. They are this sort of push style button. Now it becomes the gear lever. So every time when I get into the car, I want to start, I go into D first. Instead, the engine twist actually is over here on the center. So that is a touch confusing. Next, if you're moving into the different drive modes, to get into sport mode, you have to scroll all the way upwards to go-kart to get into that kind of sports mode, so to speak. One very neat detail in the JCW, well, I would say that it's somewhat over-engineered, is the way the head-up display panel pops up. There's actually a tray that, a mechanism that opens up and then the screen just pops up from inside. I think this is not something that I've seen in a car at this price point. Usually it's just a panel and just projects it onto the windscreen. This one I feel that it's a little bit over-engineered. Storage spaces in here is actually quite limited. Well, it's a Mini after all. 2 cup holders. There's no center armrest storage. What used to be a storage here has been moved over to this box right here, which you pull out this latch and you can stow away your loose items very securely. Now, to place a large size water bottle, not on the side door bins. However, in the F56 of the Minis, you are able to place your large size water bottles in the center cup holder right here. And now, it doesn't fit. So they have actually shrunken it a little bit tinier. Over to the passenger seat, it actually is quite an airy ambience in here. To open up the glove box, it's a conventional latch. And to charge up your devices, there are 2 USB Type-C ports over to the center. And the vanity mirror actually has no vanity lights. Squeezing into the rear seats is actually completely doable for an adult, someone of my height, 175 centimeters tall. I have the front seat adjusted to my usual driving position. And something that's quite cool is that even if you use up the latch here, you push the seats forward, it will always return to the last safe positions. I think this is quite a neat mechanism. So you can see I still have about 1 pickleball worth of knee room. Space in the foot, well, it's actually quite okay. It's only around my thigh area, which can be a bit of a squeeze. And for parents, if you don't want to squeeze your kids in the ISOFIX equipped rear seats, you can always place them on the front passenger seat because it also comes with ISOFIX mounting points. Starting off, max torque kicks in at 1,500 RPMs, making this a very nippy car to drive around town. And overtaking traffic is a mere touch on the throttle pedal. One big change in the F66 is the use of a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission that replaces the 818. Now, because this is not Mini's first rodeo with dual-clutch transmission, calibration is just spot on. Crawling around in traffic is smooth, seamless, gear shifts are snappy, and it responds to your inputs well enough. However, one thing that bugs me is that Century's sprint time is not any quicker than its predecessor, despite having a snappier gearbox as well as more torques from this engine. What's up? There's a boost function that maximizes engine power for 10 seconds, and there's no need for priming of the engine. All you have to do is just press, hold, and go. Woohoo! Yeah. Steering in town is light and easy despite its wider tracks and tire profile, staying true to its Mini's roots for a nimble, agile, fun little hot hatch. In terms of suspension, the JCW has adaptive dampers, which in its more relaxed drive modes, tries its best to filter all the jolts being sent to your spine. And these leather seats actually does a fantastic job in being comfortable to absorb some of those impact. But this is what I love about JCWs, right? It's unapologetically true to its roots. It's a hot hatch. You're not supposed to be comfortable in a hot hatch. It does what it does best, go really fast, give you lots of fun. Out on the open road, you have to be very cautious in the way you unleash all the power onto the tarmac because it's irresponsibly quick. Like a bullet in a straight line, once power gets on, you'll be getting speeding tickets within seconds. every corner, every turn of the wheel just gets your heart racing. And the way this thing switches direction is just so playful. And the Mini is not the kind that will give you maximum thrills on a high-speed racetrack, but on tight circuits, B roads, this is where the Mini JCW feels the most at home. And the sound that it makes, yeah, you can turn off the artificial noise via the center screen right here, leaving everything is just pure organic. It's at a higher speed stuff where you truly appreciate the wider track width as well as the wider tire profiles. It gives the JCW such a composed ride. And because of its more poised at the higher speed stuff, it gives you the ability to focus in terms of your surroundings, your driving, instead of just, fighting with the steering, try to keep the car going in a straight line. Yeah, but overall, objectively, I think this car is a lot more mature now. It's more stable, it's more composed, it's way more competent. However, it's a bit less eerie at the higher speed stuff. So you could say it's not as fun. The F56 JCW is my all-time favorite dream cars, next to the 675 LT Spider and the LC500 convertible. The ethos, the timeless design, the drive, it's a chili padi, small but spicy. When this guy came out in October 2024, I was a little bit skeptical. It's bigger, heavier, but not that much faster. But after spending a few days with this and getting to know it, this JCW F66 has started to grow on me. It is a Mini through and through. The toy car-like design, the switchable LED daytime running lights. Yeah, it is a Mini. It's fun, fashionable, individualistic, and answers to no one. And if you're a true Miniac, you wouldn't even compare any other cars with this one right here. My name's Adrian, thanks for watching cDrive, and make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more detailed videos like this. Our story starts here.